Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything, channel likes to try anything so you don't have to. Today we're going to take a look at another watch from the CASIO range, and this one being the CASIO AW-81. Now this one is quite a powerhouse in terms of features, feature set and stuff for such a medium-sized watch. Now this watch, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the actual materials used, the design of the watch, the features that this watch has, and also we're going to pop it on our wrist and say it's like to wear. So just to kick things off, the actual design of the watch, or the materials used of the watch. This watch is made out, the materials used has a resin strap, and it's quite durable. Though obviously with some Casios, you just got to be careful with the strap, because obviously the resin does tend to snap or break. But in the instance of this one, it is nice and thick, or thickish, and I would imagine as long as you look after it, it'll look after you. And obviously you do have the CASIO emblazoned on the strap retainer there, and it does have a plastic buckle. The actual case shape is a tonneau shape, which is a rectangular shape with rounded corners and has a slight bowed out to the edges. Now this watch is not far off the sort of feature set and the way it looks in comparison to the CASIO AW-80, which is what I'm featuring on the right. Now obviously your own personal preference will come in here. Personally, I kind of prefer the AW-81, but then each to their own really. They also feature the same sort of LED backlighting, but on its own the AW-81 does have a fair LED lighting going either side, which go around the actual dial. Now talking of the dial, going back to the actual resin case that we've got here, it is a 38mm diameter resin case. As I say, it's in the tonneau shape. It has a thickness of 11mm going on here, and also the actual case, or the actual dial window, or the dial as it were, is made out of a mineral or acrylic glass. So it is you will tend to get some form of abrasions or scratches on here. You will attract them, but I have used Polywash to clean this up, because this was an eBay purchase. Because if you look on Amazon, and there is links to the actual watch on Amazon, the only one I could find that you could buy that was in stock was about £100, which I don't think is what this price should be, or this watch should be priced at. You're probably looking more what I paid here, which was about £10 to £20. So that's what I would say this watch is probably worth. But then it's up to you really. Now talking of the dial, it is quite a simple dial as it were. There's not too much of that Casio wording and 10-year battery. I mean, it does say telememo and stuff like that there, but it is in red, so it's not as stand out as you would get on most Casio watches, and I do like that feature of the actual dial. The markers are nicely laid out and nicely easy readable. The digital display is nice and fairly big for the actual, in terms of proportion to the actual dial that's going on here. And the actual dial is a nice, does have that nice look to it really. Now the lume on these is only on the hands, unfortunately. It's not on the actual Arabics or the actual hour markers or the indices or the minute markers as it were. So that's one thing to bear in mind, which is a shame really. It would have been nice if those were in that luminescent paint, but unfortunately it is just the hands. But it does work in the dark, and don't forget you do have that LED backlighting going on as well. But as I say, it's nice simple looking watch. Easily readable from afar, depending on what the time is. So yeah, I do like the actual dial to it, or the design of the actual dial. Now the actual functions, this watch is a bit of a powerhouse in terms of functions. It has a 30 data set, or 30 sets of data telememo. Now I'm not going to show you how to use it. I mean, I have linked to the instructions below for the Casio, for this particular watch from the Casio website, but I will be doing an instruction video version of this watch coming soon. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to find out more about how to actually use this watch. Now as I say, it does have a 8-character name, 16-character number, 30 data sets. So that means you could have a name with up to 8 letters and have up to 16 numbers on there, which is a great little feature, especially if you lose your watch and stuff. Sorry, you lose your phone or anything like that. You do have that as a backup, just for any numbers, or any numbers of any importance you may want. It also features world time, so you do have up to 29 time zones that this can feature. So all sorts of time, like Kabul, Delhi, Bangkok, Hong Kong and stuff like that, Tokyo, Adelaide, Sydney. You know, there's quite a few to look at really. And you know, you can turn off the daylight saving time for this watch, because some countries don't feature the daylight savings that we do, so it's quite a little handy feature there. The other thing it has, other than the world time and the telememo, it has 2 independent daily alarms with a snooze alarm as well, so in 3 in total, which are quite easy to operate, quite easy to adjust. You keep your finger on the adjust button, or you can then go through the different times. Now this also features an ACRYLIC signal which you can turn on and off by pressing that, and all these are also featured. You know, you can have the snooze on, and that will set off all the daily alarms, and that will set off a snooze alarm and an ACRYLIC signal alarm. So you've got quite a lot going on there, so I'll just turn them off just so it doesn't keep beeping through the middle of the night and stuff like that. So, you know, you've got a handy feature set of alarms there, which, you know, if you are doing different things during the day and stuff like that, and it goes off just to remind you or just to wake you up at certain times, you know, it's great. So just quickly going through, it does have a timer as well. The range of the timer is either you can time down from 1 minute all the way up to 24 hours, which is, you know, it's great, and it will all go down in seconds. And obviously you just set it off like that by pressing the button here, and then you can just reset it back to whatever minutes you set it on just by pressing the adjust button at the top. The other feature it also has a stopwatch which can count up to 23 hours and 59 seconds. It also features a split lap time and first and second timers, or first and second indications of first and second place really. So, you know, that is easily operatable via that by pressing the search button at the bottom, and you can do the lap times like that and just release the lap time, and if you want to stop the stopwatch by pressing search, and just reset it by press adjust again. So it's easy to operate. And then the final thing, it has a hand setting mode where the hand setting is independent to whatever you feature down there. So, you know, it can be a bit of a pain just trying to synchronize the time, the digital time with the actual analog time. And also it can be a pain if you go back an hour. Obviously, when it's autumn in the UK, we go back an hour, and that can be a pain because you have to go through the whole dial. You know, you have to circle the whole dial just to get back an hour to what you were. And unfortunately, I mean, if I press that, that's how you adjust it, and you just keep your finger on that to move the actual minute hand, and eventually the hour hand will advance. Or you can press these 2 buttons and let go, which will mean it'll do it automatically, so it'll keep going until you press it again. Or you could just tap it every so often and it'll advance 20 seconds. So while I'm saying it is a pain, it can be if you've got to go through the whole dial just to get to the actual time, and with it not marrying up with the actual digital time listed below, it's a shame really. But, you know, it is another feature of the watch really. So, and that's it really. Obviously, to adjust the time as well, if you press that, you can see the actual digital time, which you can then press the search button at the bottom to turn on 24 or 12 hour. At this moment in time, it's on 12 hour. And also you can press it again just to see the date, which will be the day, the month, and the date in the month really. And also just to adjust it, as usual with CASIO, just press the adjust button and then press mode to go through the daylight saving time, which you can turn on and off, or to adjust the hours, minutes, year, month, and date in the month. And it's as easy as that really. And that's it really. I mean, it is a powerhouse of features. There's a lot going on with this watch if you use all the features and timers and stopwatches. So it is quite a handy little watch to wear, and I would imagine for the price point that you probably can get it at, like, which I'm guessing is about £20-30 mark, or on eBay where I got it for around £15. But I did have to clean it up and such, and it was pre-loved as it were. You know, it's a great little watch with all the kind of functions going on here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop it on my wrist so it's like to wear. Right then, it's now on the wrist, and it is comfortable. It is very comfortable on the wrist. You know, there's nothing really digging into the parts of my wrist or anything like that, which I have found on some of the other Casios where you do have the kind of dips and troughs within the band, or the actual strap that they do feature, or the resin strap that they do feature. And this one is a nice watch to wear. I mean, it's just the same as this one really. It's just that the shape is more square really, or tonneau shape, as it were. Now, it doesn't bang into the wrist or anything like that because it isn't really a massive watch. It's been at about 38mm, but it is a nice shape, and that's what I like about this Casio. It is the shape of the watch, the cleanliness, as it were, of the actual dial. There's nothing to, you know, obstructing it as such. Now, this one, don't get me wrong, I do like this watch here, but there is just a little bit of busyness going on with the actual wheel map and all the increment measurements going on around here, and that's what I like about the actual simplicity of this watch. It's a nice watch to read the time from. You've got loads of features going on down at in the digital part of the actual watch, and the digital display is quite a nice proportion to the actual whole dial, so you know, you've got a lot to do and glean from this watch. So, and in terms of, as I said, comfort, you know, the actual comfort factor of this watch, it is a nice comfortable watch, and it is a nice watch. So, you know, from me, it gets a thumbs up. I really do like the design of this watch, how it feels on the wrist, and the functions are just unbelievable. It's just great for this size of watch. So if you like the video, then click on the actual like button. It always helps the channel. If you want to see more videos from the We Try Anything channel, or the up and coming instructions that I will post with this watch, because there is instructions below from Casio that you can read at your own leisure. It will take you off to the Casio website or the PDF that they have, and there will be instructions, a video with the instructions, where I'll go through each of the instructions or features of this watch and how to operate it. So click on the subscription button below to find out more. So thank you for watching this video, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.